Greetings, friends. I hope this finds you well. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a tour of my man cave. My wife and I built this house about 4 years ago. There's been a lot of changes since then. If you go back and look early in my channel, I did a short tour probably about 3 years ago, and pretty much almost everything has changed since that time. There's still a lot of things I want to do, a lot of things I want to either upgrade or paint or do a tile backsplash. It's just work in progress constantly. So let me give you a tour of the current state in mid-2023. If you have any questions about the things that I use or how I did certain things, please drop them down in the comments. And please consider liking and subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. First up, right when you come down the basement steps, I have a little laptop gaming station. So if I have any visitors or people that come over, they want a game, got a little setup here. TV for watching things while you're at the bar. And I also use this table to do unboxings. If I need a table for anything, any videos, I can utilize that. It's a Husky. It's a 52-inch. It's got the manual crank, so you can raise it and lower it. I got a little bit of cable management going on. It's a little wire basket under there. Right across from the laptop gaming setup at the bar area. So when we had the house built, came with the finished basement, we also did the bar package as part of that. I did have them extend the tile out an extra 3 feet so that we could accommodate a full-size refrigerator down here for all the beverages. It's nice having water and ice right down here. Plenty of storage in the bottom cabinets. Also have a wine chiller, which I do have one shelf used for wine. The rest of it is for my stouts and other beers that I'm aging that I want chilled. Got some bar mats. Put a Govee LED light all the way around the bar. It's one of the 32-foot strips. So it goes all the way around. Did have to put a couple of holes through a hole through each bracket to accommodate. And then it also goes through that wall to the storage room where it's plugged in so you don't see the power. Say hi to Mr. Nicholson. Love him. Also love him as the Joker. And I love this artwork because not only does it have the cigar, but it also has the purple and the green, which just reminds me of the Joker. And of course, check the cuff link. A lot of my canvas art is from Iconic. Not affiliated in any way. I'll drop a link below if you want to check them out. I just really like their stuff. They have a lot of cool things. A lot of the stuff down here is from them that I've collected over the last 3 or 4 years. Plenty of storage for all the glassware. Got a wooden and metal sign from one of my favorite breweries that's not too far from me, Mantry, down in Cincinnati. Of course, got all of the different libations. All the bourbons are over here, mostly. And some might say, why the heck do you have all that? Well, both of my kids and my wife have been bartenders at one time or another, so they like to make a lot of drinks, and I'm not going to complain. Here's the wine chiller. Like I said, got a lot of special release beers, stouts, porters, higher ABV stuff that I like to have a slight chill on. Pretty good amount of storage in this. There's some wine, one shelf. Also has some more overhead storage for wine up there. And then next, moving on to the arcade and tabletop area. This is my Origins game table from Game Theory Tables. They're out in Las Vegas, I believe. They've been making like poker tables and stuff for a long time. I bought this in December, so I've had it about 6 or 7 months now. Loving it so far. Did have some issues, but everything was taken care of. Great customer service. I have a full video on unboxing, assembly, and kind of a short review after the first few months of use. Behind that, I have all of our board games. So a couple up here that we haven't played yet. And then the rest that we kind of cycle through. Got a bunch of storage as well. So these are just the IKEA shelving cubes that you see a lot of people use. Pretty cheap and versatile. Above that, I've got some artwork. So this is from a TikTok creator. I think it's Mel. I can't pronounce her name, but I'll link her below. She does some really cool artwork. This is her style, but she did this Mario one, and I just had to have it. Got my Lego NES, and then I also had an old NES system and a bunch of games that various people gave me, and I just had sitting in a box from before we moved. The system did not work, so I kind of made it like a little mural out of it. I think it's cool. Might make some people mad, but oh well. Then I have 4 arcade 1-up cabinets. So Tempest, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pac-Man 40th Anniversary Edition, which came with a matching stool. And then NBA Jam 4-player, which also came with a matching stool. These are fun. I've had them for a few years now, and if the novelty's kind of wearing off on them, don't play them a whole lot except for when people come over, especially the younger kids. They seem to love them. But it does make the table a little cramped. So I don't know, might be moving them, or maybe getting rid of them soon, just to make more room for the tabletop and gaming area. Another canvas. I believe this is also from Iconic. Mr. Heath Ledger as the Joker as well. Love Batman. Love the Joker. For the Alliance, don't hate. One of the great things I love about this table is that it's vaulted, so it's got like a 4-inch play surface that's recessed. So if you're playing a game, doing a puzzle or whatever, you can throw the top on this, which I do have in my storage room, and it can be a regular table. But it also has cup holders, little trays for like bits for the games and stuff like that. They also sell matching dining chairs that you can get in the same color. They're almost as much as the table, and dining chairs to me just aren't that comfy. So I decided to get more of a office type chair. So these are from Autonomous. They're the Ergo chairs. I think they're around $350. When I first bought 3 of them for our podcast desk, I think they were more like $280. And then like 3 years later, like everything else, they've went up in price. So I ordered 3 more so that we could have 6 for this. I did upgrade the wheels. I put the rollerblade style wheels on here. Makes it a little easier to roll on carpet. Does raise them up a few inches, but way easier to roll around, especially if you have carpet. In the middle of the room, we have the theater area. So I've got this like bar piece of furniture with some bar stools that tuck under it so that people can sit behind the theater seats. So you can fit 6 people watching this TV pretty comfortably. And then these are all power recline, power headrest with the cup holders. Love these chairs. 4 years old. Been holding up very well, even with dogs on them all the time. And then for the entertainment center, we have a 65-inch LG C1. So I think it's about a year and a half old now. Got the LG soundbar to go with that. And then I think that entertainment center is just from one we had from IKEA before we moved. Got some storage in the bottom. Also got the wireless speakers for the LG soundbar, which they say they're wireless. They're wireless from the soundbar itself, but there is a box that transmits the signal wirelessly from the soundbar back to that box. You still got to run wires from that. So those are running up in my vaulted ceiling over my HVAC, but I didn't have to run them all the way across the room, which would have been a real pain in the butt. There's also a subwoofer over there to the left for it as well. Here's a side shot of what that looks like. So these can recline all the way back, doesn't interfere with the bar table at all. Got the Xbox Series X, couple of Pro controllers. I got the new one that I don't know if it's been out that long, the blue one, and then of course the original, I think it's Pro Series 2, the black color one. Then I have some SteelSeries wireless Bluetooth headset for that. Don't use them as much, but if somebody else wants to play on it while I'm gaming on my PC, makes it nice. There's the sub. There's an Apple TV 4K tucked under there. Xbox One, the Blu-ray edition, I believe. Got my History of Marvel Studios artwork. There's 2 different books in there. That's awesome. And then this TV has the Govee light strip that has the camera, so it knows what's being played on the TV and you can change the color. That's the first gen one. There's a new one that just came out. These things here, the stand, there's one here, one over there in the corner. These are my sensors for my VR headset. I just have them mounted on there. And then they have like a weighted glass base. Cable management's not too bad behind there. Actually keep my headsets in this drawer. So I got the Index and then the Oculus Rift. I think their original one. And some DVDs and miscellaneous karaoke mics and stuff like that. Also in the storage area. Love this TV. OLED is just amazing. Moving from the theater area over to gaming PC. So got some Alex drawers on both sides. I used to have an IKEA countertop also along this whole wall. There was like a double set of them. If you go back, I've got a video on tearing that all down and upgrading it to what you see now, which is a standing desk from Autonomous. It's just their frame, and then I custom built the top out of 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood that I laminated together and then cut it to a custom shape. It's got like a little bit of a taper to it on the side, so it's wider in the front, gets skinnier to the back. That way I can angle my PC as such. And then I stained that the same color as the other woodwork and stuff that I've put down here. Got a full build video on that. Just did that recently if you want to check it out. It is a dual PC setup, so the second PC is down here. It is on some galvanized pipe and another piece of that plywood as a base. And then that thing there is the spline. So if I want this to go up, I can just hit the button, go up into a standing desk mode. Or if I need to do some cable management or whatnot, makes it real easy. Got the Herman Miller Logitech Embody. Yeah. I remember what it is there. Again, I've done a couple of videos on that. Did an unboxing, first impressions. Actually bought another one of these for my work from home setup, which is upstairs in my office. This is almost 2 years old now. Held up extremely well. 12-year warranty. They're made in Michigan, assembled in Michigan. Some parts do come from other countries, but it's been an awesome chair. It is expensive, but if you're going to buy a $200 or $300 chair every 2, 3, 4 years, this thing's going to last and pay for itself for sure. And I also have a footrest. It's also stained to match the desk. The main monitor is the Alienware 34-inch OLED. Got the Alienware 34-inch IPS above that. And then the LG Dual Up to 28-inch stacked. So it's like having 2 21-inch monitors stacked on top of each other, but it's one panel. It also comes with its own mount. And I've got a Elgato mount arm. I think it's a multi-mount mounted to my Sony A5100. That's the camera I use for streaming and recording content. The main monitor is hooked up to the gaming PC. The other 2 monitors hooked up to the streaming PC. All the peripherals for audio, routing, all the mice, keyboard, mic. Again, If you're interested in a more detailed setup video, just did one of those. You can find that on my channel. These panels on the wall are acoustic panels. So these have the Owens Corning acoustic foam in there. It's kind of like a rock wool, really dense product. So I built those, again, like 2.5, 3 years ago. Got a video on those as well if you want to check it out. Not too bad to build. Not super, super expensive. Probably, I don't know, in today's dollars, maybe 60 or 70 bucks for a pair. I used 1x4 lumber, got some fabric at a local fabric store, which when I first built in, they were all different. And since then, I put new fabric over top. The old fabric, didn't take it off or anything like that, to make them all this gray color. This is actually like a drop cloth canvas that I got off Amazon. It was super cheap, way cheaper than buying like a gray fabric. And that's also a little thicker. So I think this helps deflect and absorb some of the sound. So it's not super echoey in here. Having carpet down here does help. But you know, that was a fun project. Like I said, check it out. Holding those two 34-inch monitors is an Ergotron LX dual stacking. It is the tall pole version. I think it's like a 23-inch pole. Sorry about my smart speaker going off in the background over there. And that LCD gaming sign was gifted from a good friend of mine. Moving to the left of the gaming setup is our podcast, I guess, studio, whatever you want to call that. This is this is the backdrop that we use filming our podcast. I have a couple of good friends. We do a podcast. It's called dwbshow.com. I'll link that down in the description as well. Talk about science, tech, electric vehicles, renewable energy, beer, bourbon, a lot of things. But we built this backdrop a couple years ago. It's made out of that same 3/4-inch birch plywood. We just measured out and put the holes, and then used like I think it's a 1-inch dowel rod, and then some 2x12 or 2x10s that were sanded down, and we kind of scorched them to give us all of our shelves. So, like I said earlier, this Husky, it's a 62-inch version. I sanded both of those tops down and stained them. It's on wheels, pulls out, we flip it around, we sit behind it, and then we usually put a TV right here, and then while our camera mounted on that, I have like a little TV cart. That's where we read our show notes and anything that we're talking about during the podcast. So go check that out if you like. And then just a bunch of camera gear and battery charging and stuff on the bottom over here. Got my Macintosh SE. Doesn't work, but it's got it for nostalgia's sake. This was the first home style PC that I ever used back when I was in high school. A good friend made us these little trays. Say hello to my little friend, and you put like little bottles of bourbon or whatnot in there. Really cool. Some stuff that I 3D printed, toys, boxes from PC Hardware, some old camera gear that one of my co-hosts acquired and brought over. Got a little mini fridge so we can throw a few brewskis in there. One of my co-hosts also 3D printed and made this LED sign. Again, just more boxes and some of the special beers that we've drank on the podcast. Moving away from that, we have a little shelf, another little IKEA table. Got the lamp. It's fragile, you know. Be careful with that one. Got my Diablo 4 Collector's Edition box that I've been playing here the last few weeks. And then again, dartboard. Electronic dartboard. It's okay. It's nothing special. But I did custom make this cabinet, again, out of that same 3/4-inch plywood. Stained it that same gray, semi-transparent stain. Then threw a Govee light strip in there. Routed it through the wall. There's a mechanical room behind that wall that has my furnace and hot water heater and all my networking equipment. And there's also a bathroom down here. Very nice to have, so I don't have to go upstairs. Again, got some more artwork in here from my comic. Space theme, kind of. Really like their stuff. Nothing special. Then, hidden behind the door, winter is coming. Take in the mechanical room quick. Probably be loud in here. Furnace is on. Just a quick glimpse. Storage, a bunch of boxes, crap that I use for random stuff. Mechanicals, not too interesting. I really like these Rubbermaid slats. Got some tools, salt gun for flies if they get down here. Little vacuum, screwdrivers, just hand tools for messing around down here, doing builds and whatnot. Had a bunch of bins with all my extra cables, older gear, keyboards, mice, networking cables, cable management stuff. Got a whole big video that I did on cable management, how to do it, the tools I use, the materials that I use. Got HDMI cables, USB cables, XLR cables, anything you anything you pretty much want for cable management. Got my FreeNAS server, which is running all my storage and my Plex on it. And then here is my network rack, mostly Ubiquiti stuff, cable modem, Starlink that I used off and on for a backup. But yep, about 4 years old. I bought all this and configured it all when we moved into the house. So got a battery backup, UPS system on there. Been pretty rock solid. Got 3 APs, one for each floor. There's one of the Ubiquiti wireless access points. Like I said, I got one on the basement, one on the main floor, one on the top floor, which has all the bedrooms. And then that brings us back over to the laptop gaming station. Got some stuff up here on this shelf, mostly World of Warcraft stuff. Diablo, Blizzard related. And then one last thing I didn't mention earlier, another piece of artwork that I got from a TikTok creator. I think his name's Packaway. Again, I'll link it down below. And this is a print, limited print that he did. It's awesome. I love it. Talk about lighting real quick. So I use a combination of Govee. This is a Govee LED strip here that's going up the steps. Govee light bar behind the TV. Then I also have a bunch of Philips Hue bulbs. It's mostly Govee and Philips Hue. And then some Nanoleaf. So the bulbs in these pendants, there's LED strips underneath the bar cabinets, underneath the bar, of course. Then you've got Nanoleaf in that corner. And then a Nanoleaf on both of the columns behind the theater. A bunch of LED lighting behind the podcast wall over there. Some of it's Philips Hue, but most of the newer stuff's Govee strips. Got some Philips Hue play bars behind the gaming monitor and the other two monitors on the PCs. Got the Govee strip behind the main TV, of course. Then I also have Govee strips behind each of the arcade cabinets. They're one of the early gen ones. Had a lot of problems with those staying connected to Wi-Fi. Bluetooth works just fine, but when you're trying to use like smart speakers and stuff like that, sometimes they don't respond really well. All the newer stuff in the last year to two is fine, but those early gen ones, I don't know, something up with them. There's an LED strip behind the Nintendo artwork. I believe that one's a Philips Hue. It's one that I had before I got into the Govee stuff. The ceiling lights, those are still just, they're LEDs, but they're not smart in any way. And then the big bulbs down there on the podcast backdrop they're made to look like old filament bulbs, but they're actually LEDs as well. I got them at a Home Depot or something, but they're not smart, but they are LED. Pretty bright. I think Philips is making something similar now, but Philips is just so expensive. Been leaning more towards the Govee stuff lately. And then these lamps behind the plants. One there, one over there. Those are the Philips Hue lamps. I think the 48-inch maybe. Those have been pretty good. Not very bright though. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is it's a constant work in progress. I'm always changing and updating and thinking of new ways, new things to do. One of the things I want to do at some time in the future is down the middle of the ceiling is build a soffit and then put LEDs all the way around it, and get rid of these non-smart LED lights on the ceiling. Maybe replace them. Govee makes some. I think Hue makes some, but Philips Hue makes some as well. So either replacing the ones that don't fill or covered by that soffit, or replacing them with a smart version. I rarely use them, but it would be nice to have them and be able to change the colors and whatnot, because they are in good spots, and sometimes you do need that extra light. Other than that, one of the other things I want to do is a tile backsplash behind the bar and underneath where the seating is at. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera or not, but there's like black marge spots from people's shoes when they sit at the bar. I just want to tile that whole thing with like a light gray tile maybe, and with maybe a dark gray grout, and the same behind the bar. Just put a nice tile backsplash behind this whole thing, just when water splashes or other things, make it a little easier to clean up. What other ideas have you guys seen, or would you implement if you had a space similar to this? Be interested to know. Drop those down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Drop those questions and comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer them.